This place and time is similar to the place and time that eugenics arose.
Eugenics, the science of improving a population by controlled breeding.
The relationship between genetics or eugenics and racism is that if you believe that you could breed a better human, then it sort of presupposes that you have an idea of what a better human might be.
White people defined the United States, but we're now experiencing an increasing minority status.
With the growing visibility of white supremacists, should we be concerned about a resurgence of eugenics? Before Hitler and before the Nazis, Cold Spring Harbor, New York, was home to the eugenics movement in the USA.
It is the birthplace of genetics. It's probably the most important place in the history of American biology. There was a long history of just sort of looking at people and measuring certain things like the size of their skulls, their height, their width, their weight.
This was no outlier science. In the 1910s and 20s, eugenics was adopted by liberals, progressives, scientists, and reformers.
From 1910 up to 1940, you had economic downturns and depressions, and now you had to worry about people coming in from parts of the world that you didn't understand. So, on one hand, you had all these things that people were worried about. On the other hand, you had the rising up of science with possible answers to age-old problems. Eugenics becomes sinister or worrisome when people start to promote the idea that we should use eugenics to legislate how people should reproduce.
What became a fundamental belief in the genetic inferiority of black people, Jews, and the so-called feeble-minded actively informed lawmaking. Legal sterilization prevented the feeble-minded from having babies. Immigration acts restricted Jews and the unfit from entering the US, and the Jim Crow laws maintained racial segregation. But the so-called science couldn't survive.
The American eugenics movement had been thoroughly discredited within the scientific community by the early 1930s. But as a popular movement, it was still pretty strong in the 1930s. It gave a scientific gloss to ideas that people had about race and racism. Now, those same things can happen even today when people have fears about how they might be displaced by other people, and they can look around to try to find evidence that supports that. There's plenty of very, very unscientific evidence floating around on the internet that you could use to support virtually any idea.